just like that. Welcome, Victor. Glad to have you here. Welcome, Sandra Valdrama. We're happy to have you here. Welcome, Mina Blasey, for being here. Appreciate that. And Aria, thank you for being here and talking to us about Footsteps to Brilliance. We're excited to see that. Olivia, glad to have you here. Emily, thanks for being here. Representing Summerwind Trails, glad to have you. And everyone else, if you could please type your name in the chat so you know who you are. Rosia Cornejo, I'm glad you're here. Laura Jacobson, good to have you here. It's great to see you this morning, Laura, also. Tricia, glad to have you here. Stephanie Martinez, thanks for being here and being one of our DELAC officers. Thanks so much for doing that. And everyone else, if you could please just type your name into the chat box. And we have a quorum for our DELAC members, which is great. We have 3 out of our 5 DELAC reps here. And again, if you have not done it already, please type your name and your school and the grade that your school's in. Yuri, thank you so much for being here. Chelsea, thanks for being here too. It's great to see you in the room. Okay, let's go ahead and go on, but please, as you are coming in, please make sure you write down your name in the chat. We want to make sure that all of our work is aligned to our district mission statement. Specifically, we want to have high quality educational opportunities for all of our students. Next slide. We also want to make sure that all of our students are prepared for school now and for their jobs in the future. And we want to be ready, Beaumont. Next slide. Next thing we want to do is we want to review and approve our minutes from our previous DELAC meeting. I'm going to put a link to those minutes in the chat. Also, if you are on the agenda, if you click on minutes from last meeting, that will be right there. You can access those. So if everyone would just click through and you could take a look at the minutes for the meeting, we'll give you 1 minute to review those and then we'll ask for approval. And again, we are reviewing our minutes from our last DELAC meeting. I put the link to the minutes into the chat. I'll do that one more time, just in case anybody came in a little late. Please take a moment to read through the minutes, and then we will ask for approval in just a moment. And Olivia is scrolling through the minutes. You can take a look at that. We have about 30 seconds left, so please review those minutes. All right. That's our 1 minute. If you could please type in the chat whether that you approve the minutes. Just like that. Thank you so much, everyone giving their input about the minutes. Thank you so much. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next item. Next slide. This is our agenda for today. We have a packed agenda. We're going to go through as quickly and effectively as we can. We will be taking our LCAP input out of order. We'll be taking that right after we go through our beginning information of the meeting. So just keep in mind we are not going to be doing the LCAP further down after summer school. We're going to do it towards the beginning of the meeting. And just know that we're going to skip back up through that. Next slide. Looking at our learning target and our success criteria. For our learning target, we want to understand how Beaumont USD supports English learners. We want you to give input about those supports. We also, for our success criteria, we want you to be able to name some of the languages spoken by Beaumont USD students. We want you to be able to explain why regular school attendance is important. We want to describe the adult school programs in our district, and also we want you to describe the Footsteps to Brilliance program. We'll talk about that. We want to review our English learner program. We want to identify how we monitor our reclassified students. We want you to provide input for the LCAP or local control accountability plan. Lastly, we want to identify the date for our DELAC presentation to the Board of Trustees. Next slide. So first thing we're going to do is we'll start off with our LCAP suggestions by our Director of Research, Learning, and Data, and that is Dr. Mina Blasey. So Mina, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Barnett. If you could give me sharing rights, and I don't need 30 minutes. I know that you put it on there. But I'll introduce myself. I am the Director of Research, Learning, and Data. I met a few of you last year, and I get to support and write the Local Control Accountability Plan. And these are those 3 goals. And I know it's a lot to read, but what I want to say is that first goal is around community and educational partners engagement. So what can we do to make sure that everyone has a sense of belonging in the school district? Goal number 2 looks at student outcomes. What are we doing to help our students achieve at their highest academic level? What are we doing to make sure that they have options to either choose a career when they leave high school or go into a college of their choosing, so that we make sure that we're really preparing all of our students. And goal number 3 looks at the conditions of learning. Are these schools maintained? Are in the classroom, do students feel like they feel safe enough to ask a question? Do they feel safe enough when they're on campus? And do teachers feel that same way? So those really are a summary of those goals. But what I wanted to do is, again, Matt, if you could
just
be so kind. And
try it now.
Yes, got it. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to do a shorter version of the town hall. So I'm going to just share it for a moment, and it's not what I wanted to do. I want to hit the slideshow. And so in March, we have had a conversation. I held 6 sessions where community members could come in and have a conversation around the town hall. Some of you actually may have shown up online as well. And what I wanted to say is those 3 goals that we created specifically have to address what we call our unduplicated pupil or student population. That means we only count them once in the situation. So if a student is an English language learner, or a student who is considered low income, meaning they will always have access to free or reduced lunch. Right now, everyone does. And they possibly are, or they're possibly foster youth. So those are the 3 areas we have to address first. Now, we do address other students that have a gap in their learning. Maybe they have suspension issues, but specifically we address these areas, these 3 student groups first. So that is why I'm presenting to you today. And of those areas, as you can see, I talked about the conditions of learning. That was goal 3. And then student outcome was goal 2. And then engagement was goal 1. And you'll see that there are other things within that. So climate, engagement, parent involvement. I would even say parent engagement. What are we talking to you? Are we listening to you? And then student outcomes. Not just the end of school year results, but also what's happening daily.
Y queremos saber lo que pasa cada día, no solo al final de año o cuando tenemos los resultados de los exámenes estatales. Estas áreas aquí son las condiciones de aprendizaje. Que estamos ayudando a los estudiantes a alcanzar los estándares estatales y que tengan acceso a las clases y servicios básicos, como papel, lápiz, libros, cosas así. Otra vez, nosotros damos una educación de alta calidad, donde los estudiantes se sienten seguros y donde tenemos un apoyo entre comunidad, casa y escuela. Esto es algo que es en línea con las...
We have a viable curriculum that works with the standards. The instruction in the classroom is what students need, not necessarily what we think they need, but what they actually need. Are we using assessments to change and drive our instruction? And then does the climate and culture in the classroom meet the expectations of that student, and do students feel safe in the classroom? We also, at the end of the year, we'll talk about the local indicators. That means, are we doing what's best for teachers? Are we giving them the materials they need? Are we engaging with our families and asking you questions? And then we also do what we call a local climate survey. And that was called, that survey, for example, was Panorama. You may have heard about it, where we asked students about how they felt. Did they feel safe? Do they feel like they belong at school? That's called the California Healthy Kids Survey as well. So we gave them 2 this year. So what I wanted to do, and we already went over those 3 goals. Thank you, Dr. Barnett, for that. I wanted to offer you a thought exchange. So, and I'm going to open this up, and I will put the link in the chat for you. And what I want you to do is, you don't have to do this right now, but grab this link, and I want you to consider answering a question for me. That question should be right in front of you. You can click on the link, or you can use your cell phone and grab that QR code and put this number in. What are the most important things our district, meaning all of us, needs when we consider curriculum, instruction, assessment, and climate as we plan for the future in order to support all students? And this is, so you'll notice that people have actually started to do the survey. I can leave it open until next week, next Friday for you, so you have some time, but you can give us your thought, your opinion, and you can rate the thoughts of others. So I will show you what that looks like live so that you can see it. And I'm going to present for you. So this is what happens when others actually engage. So this is what you see. You'll see that this is one of the thoughts. And that when you go in, so thank you, I can tell when it's moving, I can tell that you're in there. So if you work for the district, yes, you too can do this while you're here. And then you'll see that these, you're starting to connect to other people. And you'll see that you can rate them. Now, there are over 207 thoughts. If you wanted to go through all of them, I went and looked through all of them. It takes about 20 minutes if you take some time to go through it. But it is a great way for you to have access and to look at what other people are saying, something you may not have thought about, and said, oh, I really like that, I agree. So then you get a rating. And then what the system does, it looks at and puts themes, ideas together so that we can help our students. And then when we write the district plan as a district, we can make sure that your ideas and thoughts were added. So with that, Matt, that is all I have for you tonight. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity to speak with you. If you have questions or concerns, you can go to the district website. My email is the same as everyone else. It's mblazy with that very long suffix at the end. But you can also go to the district and find it, and you can email me directly too. And I'll be more than happy to answer questions for you. I'll stop sharing. Thank you, Matt.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Blaze. We appreciate having you with us tonight. All right, Olivia, go ahead and put our slides back up. Okay, I'll go on with our reports from our school sites with Trisha Haynes rather. Hayes, somebody else say, I thought we were going to be presenting.
All right, good evening, everyone. Just some highlights from our schools that they were reporting across the district. So this year we had 94 reclassifications. So congratulations to our each of our school sites. This is an increase from 58 of last year. So awesome job. Most of our school sites have completed their LPAC testing. There's a few here and there, but most are done, as well as most of our sites are getting ready to or have started their CASP, the state testing. EL support has been continuing, and especially the last couple of months, many of our sites have been doing academies and just boot camps to get ready for not only the LPAC, but also the CASP as well to help our EL students. And then also across the district, lots of RFEP celebrations, again, for those students who have been reclassified. And also iReady growth recognition for our EL students to show all of the growth that's being made in ELA and math. And most of our school sites are also finishing up with their 3rd or more ELAC meetings for the year. So we want to say congratulations to all of the hard work from all of our sites and especially our EL coordinators.
Thank you so much, Tricia. And now Olivia will take us through our language census.
Hi, everyone. So as you can see, we have some of the updated numbers of our English learner students by language. So here we have the years 2021, 22. This information is from the California Department of Education. And of course, Spanish is our main language other than English that we speak here in the district. It's at 87.33%, followed by Arabic, Filipino, Mandarin, and Hmong. And I also found this information that has all of the languages, including English, which is our primary language, and the breakdown compared to Riverside County and California. So you can see 97.2 English only, 61 in Riverside, and 57 in California. And Spanish, it's our 2nd highest, and it's also 2nd highest in Riverside County and California. We're at 17.2%, and this was from 2019, but the data is somewhat similar to what it is now.
All right, we're going to go ahead and go over the importance of school attendance. Next slide. And so this is a cute little superhero because we all want to be an attendance superhero. We want to be here every day, ready and on time. Next slide. So why does attendance matter? Well, we want our students to stay on track. We want to reduce their anxiety and build their confidence. And the only way to do that is when they're on time, they get to walk into class with their peers. They feel more comfortable because they know the routine of their teachers and they know what is expected every day. They also aren't trying to play catch up each day. So if they're coming in late, they're trying to catch up and trying to figure out what's going on. So again, when they're there on time every day, that just builds their confidence and they feel more prepared for school. Next slide. And this is a great visual to show how much attendance does impact our students. So for example, if they miss 9 days of school, they're missing approximately 50 lessons. That's about 95%. So if it jumps up to 19 days of missed school days, they're missing 100 lessons. So you can see how attendance really creates gaps for your students. And again, we want them to feel confident in being at school and doing well. So we want them to get all the lessons that they should get each and every day. So attendance is important.
Thank you so much. Mr. Coronado is supposed to be with us to talk about adult school offerings, so what I'll tell you about him. At our Beaumont Adult School, we have lots of programs for parents. We have English classes, so if you are interested in learning English, they have classes for you there. They also have one of the best nursing CNA programs in the state of California, so you can learn a new skill and get a new job just by going to our Beaumont Adult School. We're really proud of those programs, and we encourage all of our parents that are interested to participate in Beaumont Adult School activities and offerings. Next slide. And next, we have Aria Rodriguez-Hagel from Footsteps to Brilliance, and she's going to be telling us about that program and about an upcoming parent training that we have coming up. So Aria, take it away.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you about Footsteps to Brilliance. Footsteps to Brilliance is an award-winning mobile literacy app. We have 3 apps that you can download for free. They include a dual language program. So everything in the programs is both in English and in Spanish. The use of the app can be at home or at school, so it allows for both the school and the home use. And we have a self-registration site where any parent can sign up. As you can see here on this slide, the self-registration site is www.myf2b.com/register/Beaumont USD. We're going to be providing a parent training this coming Tuesday, May 2nd, from 6 to 7. We have a link that I'm sure Mr. Barnett will be able to share with you for that meeting. We will be presenting both in English and in Spanish. We'll be able to provide that service if we need to do that. And we'll be able to demonstrate the apps for you and show you where you can go to pick up your registration site and go ahead and register.
And the Zoom link is available in Parent Square. I sent out an invitation to all parents. If you go to Parent Square and find that item, you'll have the link to the parent training for Monday, May 2nd. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
By the way, she's really working extra hard. It's what, 9 o'clock p.m. where you are?
A little bit like that, yeah.
Maria is in Puerto Rico. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. See you May 2nd, 6 o'clock. Everybody be there.
There you go. Especially because it's past my bedtime where she is. All right, next.
Thank you. I'll see you guys on May 2nd. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Next, we have our English Learner Program Review, and I'm going to walk us through that. So every year, we need to make sure that we present at our DELAC to talk about how much program our English Learner program is helping our students grow. Specifically, we are going to look at our Title III funding. That's our English Learner funding and how we use it. We'll take a look at some test results. We will look at our reclassification rates. That's the number of students that are being reclassified each year. We'll also be looking at the academic performance of our RFEP students. Those are reclassified fluent English proficient students. And lastly, we will take a look at our long-term English learners and see how many of them we have in our district and how we are supporting them. Next slide. So first of all, for our Title III funding, this is our federal English Learner Program funding. We pay for the salaries of our 2 EL instructional coaches. That's Trisha Haynes and Olivia Orozco. And they do a lot of program support for us. They help with parent meetings. They help with teaching teachers how to use our English Learner programs and support sites with their ELAC and DELAC meetings. And they really do a lot to support our programs. Next slide. So we also, these are the results of our students that are English learners on the LPAC. And so this is 2020 and 2021. One thing you will notice about 2020 that I want to just let you know that keep in mind in 2020, that's when our schools closed down for the COVID-19 emergency. And we had smaller numbers of students taking the LPAC test that year. So we had 21.3% of students scoring at a level 4, which is great. Students have to have a level 4 in order to be reclassified. And this year, and last year in 2021, we had a smaller percentage of students score level 4, but I'll be talking to you about what that means because we had more students taking the LPAC in 2021 than we did in 2020. Next slide. So you'll see right here, you'll notice again, we're seeing that we had a smaller percentage of students scoring a level 4 on the LPAC, but you'll notice on the left that in 2021, we had 99 students score at a level 4, which is pretty good. We're happy about that. And those students who scored a level 4 were ready to be reclassified. So remember, keep that number 99 in mind. I'm going to show you some other slides that are important as a result of that. Next slide. And you'll notice that on this in 2022, that's this school year, of those 99 students that scored a level 4, 95 of them were reclassified. So great job to our EL coordinators for helping our students, making sure that they get reclassified as fluent English proficient. You'll also notice that the number of students that are reclassified have gone way up. We've got almost twice as many students that have reclassified this year as last year. And we expect a few more may be reclassified before the end of the school year. So we're really proud of the work of our English, our students that are becoming reclassified, and also very happy with the work that our EL coordinators are doing. Thank you so much. Next slide. So these are some reading results for our students that are reclassified as fluent English proficient. And you will notice that we have the majority of our students that are reclassified scoring either, well, within 1 year of grade level or above, on level or above grade level. So this is kind of out of order, but the blue and this yellow and gray, those are on or above or within 1 year of grade level. So we're happy about that. So notice the vast majority of the year 1 students are like that. And year 2, 3, and 4, same thing. And notice by year 4, when students in kindergarten through 8th grade, by year 4, there's still, again, the vast majority of them are doing really well in their reading. So we're happy about that. Next slide. These are reading results for our students that are in high school. And you'll see that the majority of them are also in the at or above high school level in their reading. And we even had one student that was at the university level for reading. So we continue to learn about strategies to help our students read. We'll be talking about some of those strategies in just a moment. Next slide. This is a chart that shows the number of long-term English learners, or LTELs, as we sometimes call them, in our district. And for a student to be a long-term English learner, they have to be an English learner for 6 or more years. Our goal is to have students reach English proficiency in 6 or more in 6 years. We have about a little over a third of our students are long-term English learners. And you'll notice that the largest group of students that are long-term English learners are 6th graders, but that number tends to go down over time as they are reclassifying over the years. But our big goal is to make sure that all students are reading, that are reclassified within 6 years of starting in our schools. Next slide. So when we look at our effectiveness of our program, we notice that we are doing the following actions to help support our students. We believe that they're helping our students make progress. As you saw, we had 95 students reclassified this year. That's about 10% of our students that are reclassified this year. But the things we do to support our students that have been helpful are our EL coordinator meetings. So we have an English learner program coordinator at each site. We support them. We have a dual language immersion program that we are going to be expanding next year. And you'll find more about that later if you have friends that are interested in having their students enter a dual language immersion program. We also support, our administrators support our site EL plans. We also have a higher reclassification rate. We have a lot of training programs for our teachers in English learner programs and ELD programs. We also support our sites in implementing all of our English learner programs. We have EL family literacy nights. We also we review our EL master plan. And this year when we did that, we updated our reclassification process for our high schoolers. We also coordinate our LPAC testing. And these all are things that help us have an effective English learner program. Next slide. We also have started doing foundational literacy skill strategies with our students in our kindergarten through second grade, and our teachers are very positive about them. And you can see some of the comments that they have about the program. And we've noticed that the students, while many of them may start off the year with a lack of phonological awareness and phonemic awareness, by the time that we get to this part of the year and the end of the year, a lot of the students have made a lot of progress on their foundational literacy skills. And understanding how letter sounds work in English is an important thing for our English learners to do. And our foundational literacy routines help our students to learn how to speak English. Next slide. In third through fifth grade, we start to focus more on fluency and reading comprehension. And we've had some really good success with that. And a lot of our teachers are very happy with the growth that they're seeing with our students. And you can read those comments on those sticky notes. And one of the teachers reports that I found success and had lots of growth after each diagnostic. And these students were able to read fluently enough to comprehend the text. And that's the important thing about reading fluency. So we've seen a lot of benefits from students learning how to use fluency activities and comprehension strategies. Next slide. For our sixth graders through 12th graders, we have been doing demonstration lessons and using the IVF summary. The IVF summary means identify the title by author, add a verb, and then finish the thought, which is to identify the central idea of the text. And we have been doing demonstration lessons, and many of our teachers, and I believe virtually all of our teachers, are learning about how to use the IVF summary. And we've seen a lot of growth with that. This is a challenging thing. It's challenging for kids to learn how to do, but it's important for them to be reclassified, because one of the activities that they have to do on the LPAC test is to summarize an academic presentation, and this strategy helps them to do that. Next slide. Oh, before that, Mrs. Orozco, did you want to, or Olivia, did you want to say anything about the foundational literacy strategies?
So like I said, the EL coordinators know this. We had sent this out to them, and they reached out to their ELD teachers at their sites for this feedback. So this is primarily feedback from ELD teachers.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next slide.
Okay, now we're going to go over our RFEP monitoring process. So our English learners, once they meet reclassification criteria, they are a reclassified fluent English proficient student, and we monitor them 4 years after reclassification. So on your slides, you can see that this is the form that your students or your child's teacher fills out, or in secondary, it's their ELA teacher. So you can see in green there the questions that the teacher will respond to, and they will rate the students from never to always. And then down in the right-hand corner, we ask what kinds of things are they noticing that those students are needing assistance with. Next slide. And then we also ask them to mark any strategies that they're currently using with their students. So collaborative groups, graphic organizers, just providing different types of instructional strategies for the students. But the most important is at the bottom, the teacher has to give a recommendation. Is the student making adequate progress, or is a follow-up needed? If the student marks follow-up needed, then a flag is created. Next slide. So you'll notice here is a spreadsheet. So your EL coordinator at your child's school will take that flag and fill in information about each student that has a flag. Then they will go to each column. So for example, the first column is reason for flag. So why they will have a meeting with the teacher and ask, why did they flag the student? Was it motivation, reading, behavior, attendance? And they will mark the appropriate box. Then they will go over to the action column, and they will mark the highest level of communication that has happened. So is it just the teacher and the EL coordinator? Has parent been discussed? Has this issue been discussed with the parent? Has there been an EMT? Or has there been a meeting with the administrator as well? In the next column is strategies, and that is where the EL coordinator will also have a conversation with the teacher to find out what strategy is being used to assist that student to possibly get rid of the flag. And that next slide.
Thank you, Tricia. So I'm just going to go over quickly the summer school plan. And this year for summer school, for elementary summer school, we are going to provide the summer school for students at 2 sites, in particular, Anahaas and Brookside. And notice the time, 8:15 and 8 o'clock, they're 2 different start times. The ELA program will go from June 7th to 17th. And the math science program will go from June 21st to July 1st. For the secondary school, it will only be at Beaumont High School. Middle school and high school will be at the same site. And it will run from June 7th to July 1st. And notice the times, middle school is only half a day. And then high school, depending on what or how many courses your students take, either 1 or 2, then the students will be there from 8:30 to 11:15 and to 11:45 to 2:30. And just a reminder, our first day of school next year will be August 11th, 2022.
All right, next thing. So each year our DELAC does a presentation to our Board of Trustees to tell them about our meetings and the things that we do. And this year we're going to do our board presentation on May 10th. And we need our DELAC members to participate. So Stephanie and Olivia and Rocio, if you could please stick around at the end of the meeting, we'll talk about that. We're going to be about what that means and how we're going to do that, and when we're going to do our practice meetings. But we'll be talking about what DELAC is. We'll be going over our language census, the importance of attendance, and all the things we talk about every meeting. And we'll talk about the update for our reclassification criteria for high school students. We'll talk about how we gave input on the CONAP and the LCAP, and we'll tell them about our meeting dates for 22 and 23. So we're excited about giving our annual report. So again, Stephanie and Olivia and Rocio, if you could please stick around after the end of the meeting, then we will talk about how we're going to do that. Next slide.
So every time we meet for DELAC, we'd like to get some feedback from parents and staff members about what kind of topics you'd like to talk about for the next meeting. So right now, if you want to type any thoughts, or you could unmute yourself to give us some ideas. Right now is the time. And if you prefer to just email us, you can do that too. So we'll just take a minute or two to just have some feedback from any of the parents or staff members that are here. I was also thinking, Dr. Barnett, maybe we could have Dr. Blasey kind of give us some feedback from her thought exchange.
Oh, that'd be a great idea for one of our meetings in the fall, for our fall meeting, actually. That'd be a great idea.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, if you, feel free to email us any ideas that you have. Especially if site EL coordinators are here and they have parents at their ELACs that bring up some questions, then let us know.
Okay, next slide. So this is the last DELAC meeting of the year, and our next year's DELAC meetings will be on October 6th, February 16th, and also on April 27th, 2023. Holy smokes, it's going to be 2023 before you know it. But we're excited about our DELAC meetings. We really appreciate all of our parents and staff that come to our meetings, and we hope that you will be able to come to our meetings next year. And Shauna Keels has a great idea, tips to accelerate learning after summer. That's a great idea. We'll
and actually, the footsteps to brilliance question that Sophia had, when I show Sophia, the Footsteps to Brilliance. I went to their webinar today, and it's something that parents could do at home with their children without sending them to summer school. And that can help them, you know, accelerate their learning during the summertime so that when they start school again, they don't have that learning loss from the summertime.
That's a great idea. And also, and keep in mind, because it's online, you could do the Footsteps to Brilliant program anywhere in the world. You could be on vacation, you could be in your living room, you could be wherever you want, and you could be participating in Footsteps to Brilliance.
Can we do it on the beach with the hotspot?
Absolutely, you could do it on the beach. You could do it on your use your phone if you want. If you want to have one of those big
That's
fancy
right.
smartphones, you could
That's
be
right.
doing Footsteps to Brilliance on your phone, which is a good idea. So next, we want to just go through review our meeting, our success criteria. So, and I'd like anyone that remembers this to type it in the chat. So, Nate, can you name one language that's spoken in our district besides English? Somebody could type that in the chat. Let's see if we know that. Come on, it's audience participation time.
You can unmute yourself as well.
Or you could say it out loud. Yeah, can anybody name at least one language
Spanish.
other than English? Spanish, exactly right. We speak Spanish. We do have some French-speaking people, and Hmong is another language that's spoken. Next, can anybody either say or type in the chat, what is one important thing? What is one important thing about coming to school on a regular basis? What's one benefit that kids have from coming to school on a regular basis? It does, it lowers anxiety, exactly. The more that you are there on time, when you're there on time, also make sure that you don't feel kind of left out. Anybody else want to say anything about why it's important to come to school regularly? Yeah, you don't miss lessons. That's important, because when you miss school, you miss out. Okay, next. Describe the adult school. Can anybody name one does anybody know what is the most popular program at adult school? You can either type it. Yes, very good. Dr. Maldonado, it's true. Our nursing program at the adult school is the most the favorite program from all of the programs we have there. Can you tell me give me just quick, what skill does Footsteps to Brilliance helps kids develop? What skill? That's exactly right. Literacy. It helps students learn how to read. So that's why Footsteps to Brilliance is important, and it's 100% free, and it's available to actually anyone in the city of Beaumont can participate. Or if you have friends that live in Yucaipa or Calamasa, they can do the same thing. They can click through and they can create an account on their own. I know, right? Chelsea, you got it, friend. Okay, next. Let's see. Can anybody name for me how many English learners have been reclassified in our district this year from our review of our EL program? It's almost twice as many as last year. Now, close to, we had, it's not 94%, but 95. Rocio, you were great. You were right there, friend. Shanikil, that's right. 95% of our students reclassified. Oh boy, man, if we had 95% of our students reclassify, I'd be out of a job, which would be a good thing. Okay, next thing. Can anybody tell me how do we monitor our reclassified students? This is a hard one. I think the teachers know this mostly. So we just sent those we sent out the RFET monitoring forms recently. Yeah, teachers they go into Elevation and there's a form. And yeah, and after Sophia, very good. That's right. After 4 years, we monitor them for 4 years. And then if they show growth, then they are able to be completely exited from the program after those 4 years. I know, so she's got it. Can you name what is the survey called that we are taking for the LCAP? What's the name of that survey that we're taking? That's the name of the program that we're using to take the survey for the LCAP. Can you name that? When you think something, you have a thought exchange. Very good, Shauna Keelson. So we're taking our LCAP survey on thought exchange. We encourage you all to fill that out. And lastly, can anybody name the date for our DELAC presentation to the Board of Trustees? Close. May 10th. Very good. Very good. Good guess, Shauna. You're real close. So with that, this is the end of our DELAC meeting, friends. I thank you so much for coming. And again, if we could have Olivia and Stephanie and Rocio hang out for just a couple minutes, we'll go get our schedule down for when we're going to practice and when our meeting is going to be. Thank you so much for coming to our DELAC meeting. We hope you have a great evening.
And
Be
if you
safe.
want to stay, so I could show you Footsteps to Brilliance, I'm going to show you really quick.
Oh, that's good. We'll do that too. We'll let Olivia show you how to use Footsteps to Brilliance because it's a really cool thing. You're welcome, Stacy. Thanks for coming.
So I don't know if you all saw, I just got into my
Thanks for coming,
Clever.
Brenda.
And like students, they have to log in with theirs. So I have admin access, but when you find this little icon here, Footsteps to Brilliance, you click on that and it automatically has a Beaumont students login. Now there's a, like what Aurea, I think that's her name.
Aurea, yep.
Yeah, she said it's a dual language program, which is like right here. So you can click on Spanish to change the language. And you have different programs here. They have not opened up the summer program, but there's a summer program that's, excuse me, that's coming soon. But any of these here, these programs, they have a bunch of different things. Teachers have access to lesson plans here. I'm just going to open one here so you can see. Thank you. You ran out of water. Yeah, one of the comments, one of the other teachers said is that it takes a little bit long to load. So that was, a concern that they had, but here's the Spanish. I like doing the Spanish. And then you have different biblioteca, my library, you have different programs here, games and writing programs. Now you can see the different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. And so on. And then also, I forgot where they told me to go see the other things. Oh, they were showing us things, but I couldn't see it on mine. But like I said, the summer school, it will open up right here when you see the curriculum here. Okay. So I don't know if Sophia, does that answer your question? So I keep getting kicked off because calls keep coming in. What do you see how you can get in through Clever? Not you, but your child.
Yes.
Okay. All right, awesome. Any other questions about this? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. So, and should I stop recording, Dr. Barnett?
Yes.